Ellen.
Yes.
Who lives in a pineapple under the sea?
Spongebob Squarepants.
You passed the test.
Absorbent and yellow and porous is he.
All right,
SpongeBob
teacher's pet.
Squarepants.
Ellen, I have been playing quite a lot of SpongeBob SquarePants, The Cosmic Shake. Which is the new SpongeBob game. In this video, brought to you by outsidexbox and SpongeBob SquarePants, The Cosmic Shake. It is very SpongeBob-y. I think if what you're after with this game is a SpongeBob game, you are absolutely getting a SpongeBob game. And so I thought I'd talk about the 7 most SpongeBob things about SpongeBob SquarePants, The Cosmic Shake.
Yes.
And now I want a milkshake for some reason.
I'm ready! I'm ready! I forgot something!
So the first thing that is super SpongeBob-y about this game is the storyline is completely wild. Like, it's absolutely wild. So I think I was expecting maybe to come into this. I know it's called The Cosmic Shake, which is intriguing and sort of, you know, could be to do with sort of the cosmos and, you know, things like that. But I was kind of expecting to be running around Bikini Bottom doing, you know, normal-ish stuff.
But if you got a little time to spare, I could use your help hauling out some old junk from my yard.
Anything for you, Sandy. I'm ready to haul, y'all.
Normal within the bounds of...
within
SpongeBob,
the remits of SpongeBob
Yeah.
SquarePants and Bikini Bottom.
My yard's looking fine as fur on a frog. Thanks for your help, and have fun with Patrick.
It's real wacky, this story. So what happens is SpongeBob and Patrick meet a mermaid called Cassandra.
Amazing.
Madam Cassandra. And she has a sort of magic wish bubble blowing thing.
Magic bubbled soap. Breathe life into your dreams.
But fails to inform them that blowing a load of bubbles might tear apart the fabric of space-time.
Not for use by mortals. Use sparingly and with caution.
So what happens is, like, basically the entire thing rips apart. Everyone in Bikini Bottom gets abducted, sucked into a giant vortex. That's what happens to the vast majority of the people in Bikini Bottom. It doesn't happen to Patrick, but we'll get onto that later.
He's a starfish. He's got little suckers.
Well, yeah. I'll talk more about Patrick a bit later. But anyway, what happens is people get sucked into these like parallel universes. And so the game is a series of... There's like the central Bikini Bottom hub, which you're trying to rebuild because it's also been destroyed by this cosmic nonsense. But each level is like a sort of separate parallel universe where like the main characters from SpongeBob are playing new roles and are confused and lost and don't remember who they are.
Have we met before?
Hey, cowboy. Sorry, you don't ring any bells.
So Mr. Krabs, for example, has become like a Wild West bandit, right?
I know you mean well, but you gotta let me stay. Please.
You're under arrest, red-handed bandit.
Which is weird and brilliant. My favourite is that Squidward is now like an extremely demanding movie director.
Oh, that's perfect.
What squirt of an actor did those at the agency lay upon me? I promised them art, and how do they repay me?
And he's like just shouting at you basically. You're the star of the movie as SpongeBob. And yeah, he's like shouting at you from one of those little like cherry pickers with his little loud hailer and stuff. So it's really novel, and I think it's a reasonably like lengthy game. And so I think that level of variety, I think I wasn't necessarily expecting. But that is the Cosmic Shake is, as I understand
shaking
it,
shaking things up
and sort of flinging all these sort of beloved characters into new and interesting environments.
Look, it's Sandy! I mean, it's the sheriff!
So yeah, all of the main first level is a sort of Wild West setup with Mr. Krabs as this bandit, and it does all the Wild West things like horse riding, although they are seahorses, obviously.
Of course.
Them's the rules.
Yeah.
And also like a chase on a train. Lots of Wild Westy kind of tropes and stuff. So there's a lot of variety in there that I maybe wasn't expecting necessarily going into the game. So that's good.
I guess I would allow you to assist me. Here, use this super velocitous momentum enhancer that I invented to get the job done.
Ooh, is that a bubble surfboard?
The second Super SpongeBobby thing is
Yes.
that there are a lot of, let's say, physics-defying abilities.
Oh,
I think
yeah.
is the best way to describe it.
Yeah.
As you probably know, if you've ever watched an episode of SpongeBob SquarePants, the normal rules don't really apply. Yeah, so there's a lot of physics-defying stuff, and a lot of it's to do with the kind of how you get around the world, which is kind of cool. There's a grappling hook, which sort of makes sense, but there's also like you can glide, but you glide using like a pizza box.
Yeah, Krusty Krab burger boxes are a little bit too small, so
Exactly. Yeah,
you
you could maybe open them out.
yeah, you could
create
open
a sort of hang
they're
glider.
like little.
But I prefer pizza anyway. But yeah, also you've got these sort of physics-defying like karate kicks and things, which kind of home in on stuff. So actually, like weirdly, it's quite satisfying to get around. And there's sort of obstacle courses and things that you can trigger where you'll be like you'll swing from a fish hook and then you'll like karate kick 3 targets and then you'll have to like glide for a bit and then you'll jump on a sort of bubbly surfboard and surf around a bit, but then you need to jump off before it pops. And so, as part of the platforming, there's a kind of rhythm to it.
That's
if that
fun,
makes sense.
yeah.
But my favourite bit of nonsense physics in the entire game is that when SpongeBob holds his hands up like that, he can use them like binoculars and
But
zoom
they're
in and
just-
everything.
they're just-
Yeah, but it's just his hands. That's genuinely my favourite bit of physics nonsense in the entire game.
What is it, SpongeBob? What do you see?
What next, Mike?
Well, next, it wouldn't be SpongeBob if Patrick wasn't around, right? Okay, it's one of the great bromances in all of literature, in any medium. But the thing is, you need that kind of chat, right? And you do get that throughout the entire game. There's back and forth between them. There's bits of banter, little jokes and stuff. That is all brilliant. But the problem with having Patrick around would be he might get in the way. So the solution that the game comes up with is that while everyone else gets sucked into a vortex, Patrick gets turned into a small balloon.
Wait a second! Patrick, you're a balloon!
I wish. If I were a balloon, I'd be able to do cool stuff like this! And this! And this!
But I love that actually Patrick sort of floats around with you, and so he's always around, but he's never getting in the way. 'Cause he's a big lad. And, if I was trying to do some precision platforming, and Patrick was also trying to do some precision platforming, I think we both fall off the platform. So it's great. He's actually quite useful in combat and things like that as well. He will go and pick up health items and things for you and drop them off for you. He's a bit like Elizabeth in BioShock Infinite.
Oh, of course. Oh, yeah.
But he's a tiny starfish balloon guy.
Toucan! No more chafing.
So yeah, not a comparison I thought I'd be making when I started playing this game, but here we are. It's a game that's full of surprises. So Patrick's great, but I think just as a wider point, all of the original voice cast are involved, right?
Yeah.
And that doesn't always happen with licensed
No,
games.
not with games always.
Naming no names.
Ah, my beloved Bikini Bottom, the most perfectly perfect place in the entire universe, home to my friends and memories.
So yeah, so all the original voice cast are there, so everything feels and sounds like super duper authentic.
Prepare to be scared with the haunting memory of me ghostly ghost. Oh, who am I kidding?
Another super SpongeBob-y thing about this is it's really colourful. It's just
Yeah.
brightly coloured, and this is quite sad, but it made me think, wow, most games really don't have a lot of colours. They're really not exercising the full palette available to them. 16.7 million colours are
Yeah.
what are available to you, and I think they use about 4. But it actually has a really nice aesthetic. Obviously, it looks. It doesn't look exact. Doesn't have that kind of like cartoon cell shaded thing. So it's got its own kind of look, but it's a very sort of clean, crisp sort of SpongeBob look. But I think in particular, I was saying I really enjoyed the Wild West level, and in particular that takes place at a sort of like idyllic, perfect golden hour sunset type thing with like pinks and oranges and stuff in the sky.
We're St. Patrick! It's Mrs. Puff! If anyone knows where Mr. Krabs is, it's her!
As an aesthetic, it's really like clean and crisp. It looks really, really nice. And obviously, like I said, there's a lot of variety in the levels. So like, obviously the Wild West one looks like that, but then the film set one's a little more cluttered and a little more sort of like, you know, not urban, but the film they're filming is a sort of, you know, street fighting kind of thing. So it's kind of city streets, but made out of cardboard and things. And then there's a horror Halloween town type place as well.
Oh, what kind of monster would abandon a candy bar like that?
Which looks pretty cool as well. So that variety is the thing that really appeals to me in the game. It's like you're not just spending the whole game in the same sort of environments. It's got a real sort of visual style to it. So yeah, I was impressed by, I think, you know, the aesthetic in general. There's like kind of piratey level as well, which is very like, reminds me of the sort of holiday I would like to be going on in January.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think my favourite of all of them is the Wild West stuff. A, thematically, it's really good fun. But B, it just looks really nice. It looks really lush.
Oh dear, you have 6 points. Out of 7.
Another very, very SpongeBob-y thing is that the game's full of bizarre, like, mini-games, like little distractions and stuff that you've got to do.
Ooh, shiny.
Yeah, exactly, yeah. So you do a lot, a lot of it is platforming and kind of open-world platformy exploration stuff. And there's variety there, obviously, just in terms of the setting and things, but individual levels will have, and even like within the Bikini Bottom sort of hub area, there are sort of little mini games and things that you'll be tackling. So one of the ones I really liked was you have to go and find paparazzi who are hanging around the movie set in the movie set thing, and kind of pop them out and take a load of photos to distract them from taking photos of, I guess, director Squidward. But like you just do these little poses and stuff, and it's got that kind of like mocking SpongeBob pose, which is the kind of
All right.
It'll be on screen, but you know, also Ellen's impression is extremely good of it. Yeah, with the eyeball sort of and everything. So yeah, there's loads of little things, and he does the little, you know, the rainbow hands thing as well that SpongeBob does. So those sort of poses and things, and then there's one where you've got to like flip burgers, which is quite like intense.
Oh,
it's sort of like a mini version of Overcooked, where you're like flipping the Krabby Patties and stuff. And there's a drinking game as well in the Wild West thing, but like a soda drinking game. It's fine,
okay.
You know, it's
All
fine.
bubbly. I mean, seeing as the problem in the game is that there are lots of bubbles, do you really want to add more to that?
Well, yeah, you know, you might belch and all of a sudden
And then
you
another
destroy the
solo
fabric of
thing,
space-time. Yeah, it's always a danger.
Let's see what you're really made of. Grab your straw.
And even I don't know if you'd even class this as a mini game, but in the movie set one, there's a really interesting like side-scrolling bit where you have to stay in shot. So it's like those old Mario games where, you know, if you fell off the back of the the level was moving, which I thought was kind of interesting because again, thematically appropriate. You know, Squidward wants you to stay in the shot. The camera's on a set like dolly going across, and you've got to try and like frantically stay within the realms of the screen itself. It's kind of meta, fourth wall breaking. There's a lot of that. Yeah, I failed it at least once.
In this scene, you must fight your way through gang-infested city streets. And don't walk out of frame.
So yeah, it sort of keeps things interesting in terms of like it will just throw you in these sort of random mini games at different points, but they feel like they fit in with the story, but they're a bit of like weird variety to to play around with. There's a bit of seahorse racing and things and all sorts of stuff. So yeah, it's you got to keep on your toes because it will throw just like these random challenges at you pretty much at the drop of a hat.
SpongeBob, jump!
Another very, very SpongeBob thing is the selection of costumes. So you can switch your costumes at any point. There are actually sort of world-appropriate costumes that you collect before you head into a particular portal to go to these worlds. So obviously it's a Wild West type costume.
So you fit in and...
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
It's like Kingdom Hearts.
A bit like Kingdom Hearts. But you can also just switch costumes at any... So any of the ones you've
that's
unlocked
even
at
better
any
than
point,
Kingdom Hearts.
You can, you can just switch to something completely different. So if you want to be the pirate SpongeBob, but in a totally incongruous level like the Wild West level or something, then you can do that. You can totally do that.
Us cowboys always stick together.
Oh, please. If you two are cowboys, then I'm a saloon girl.
So Andy can be a pirate in the Wild West.
Indeed,
So he
or
can
in
be a Wild
Halloween
West
Town. We
pirate.
combine his two interests by being pirate SpongeBob in the
Yeah.
Halloweeny sort of...
Dang.
Say, pretty good dork costume. Very believable.
But there's also costumes you can get as like there's a pre-order DLC, right? So
right.
and that includes some like classic ones from the episode with the Sweet Victory song where they rise up out of the American football field and they perform. They're all in like band outfits. So that's like one of the pre-order ones. But also like dried out SpongeBob, which I just find really which I just think's hilarious. So that one makes me laugh every time I see it.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Every time I see that, I'm like, same.
Yeah. It's the energy I'm taking into 2023.
It's me.
Yeah. So yeah, like if you want to mix up, obviously SpongeBob has a long history of dressing up in silly stuff.
Yeah.
And yeah, you can pick which one you want to do. And also, so that movie set level, that is almost entirely based around, the karate,
yeah.
his like red sort of head thing and his big gloves and stuff.
Ooh, my karate gear. The most stylish outfit I own.
So that in the movie set like fiction, when you head into that parallel universe, you are the star of a karate movie, basically.
Oh, amazing.
I can't believe this is the leading man. Let's take some pictures to capture this train wreck.
Wow, they're taking photos of us. Are we in the movie?
Oh, do I look floated enough? I just had myself inflated.
So he's wearing that, and obviously that's a fan favorite recurring outfit that's been in a bunch of episodes of the TV show. And so yeah, it's fun to have an entire level based around that sort of pretense, essentially.
Now throw out the stupid script.
There's a script?
And action!
So yeah, if you like playing dress up, this game is all about dress up.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, and so like if you complete the sort of the Mr. Krabby Patty tossing mini game and stuff, you get an outfit for that.
I know how you like playing dress up, so I've got a little reward for helping out your favorite employer.
There's a bunch of stuff. So whatever your preferred flavor of SpongeBob, it's probably catered for. There's about 30 outfits in the game. The final very SpongeBob thing about this game is that it is super aware of all the memes. Like we already mentioned the kind of mocking SpongeBob thing.
And the dried out SpongeBob.
Yeah, and the dried out SpongeBob. There's also like I spotted handsome Squidward in there.
Oh yes.
So,
The director is Squidward?
He's got vision, SpongeBob.
which is my absolute favourite. I just absolutely adore that image. It's very, very funny.
Very good.
And so when you go to the movie set level, it's the thing that Squidward has on his trailers and production trucks and stuff is a picture of handsome Squidward.
Perfect.
Clearly how he sees himself in this parallel universe. It's also got the 2 minutes later, 47 seconds later.
Hours later.
A few seconds later.
Well, that's like the loading screens of that now. Which,
Good.
Perfect synergy. lines
well
up perfectly.
done. I love
Yeah.
when developers do these
Yeah.
little clever nods. Yeah, thank you.
And the other thing you get a lot of is that, you know, when you get a close-up and it's in that really hyper-detailed
Oh, yeah,
art
yeah,
style. Yeah.
I will make myself extra picturesque.
Yeah, so like when Patrick falls in love.
She's pretty.
And it's usually like a bead of sweat. That's
Yeah.
usually the one, and then they can draw in loads of veins and pores and stuff.
So that stuff, you get a lot of that stuff real big on your HD TV. So
Outstanding.
I think that's the thing. There's you know, all of this stuff demonstrates that there's a lot of love for SpongeBob the show that has gone into the games, which is super nice, because I think, as I said before, you know, licensed titles quite often they can feel like they're sort of thrown together.
Thrown together. We'll put that in. That's a thing. That's a thing. That's a thing.
Yeah.
Get from there to there. Done. But you
I
see
think
these
there's
little
that extra,
touches.
there's that extra level of thought that's gone into making this like faithful for SpongeBob fans.
Poor citizens of Bikini Bottom were starving. I couldn't let them eat the garbage Plankton was serving.
I'm right here.
The game's out now. So, yeah, if you're a fan of SpongeBob, definitely check it out. See what you think. I think it feels like it's been put together by like fans of the show.
Yeah,
which
and that's what you
is
want.
Cool, because the show is brilliant.
Oh, me boyo! That sure taught me a valuable lesson.
Thank you so much for watching this video, brought to you by Outside Xbox and sponsor, SpongeBob SquarePants, the Cosmic Shake.
Please do check the game out. We had a lot of fun with it. We think you will too. And there is a link in the description below with more information about SpongeBob SquarePants, the Cosmic Shake. And like and subscribe if you enjoyed this, and we'll see you next time.
Do you want to go jellyfishing?
Of course.
Yeah, let's go.
All right.
Yay!